Mr. Hargrave here to help you maximize out your Pestilence Scourge points. That's right. We want to get the most points the easiest, most streamlined way as possible, and I want to show you how. Now, I have other videos on this channel showing other levels of the Pestilence event and how to max those out and how to get more points. You can find those on the channel as well. And this is really for like the final stage of Pestilence. These tips might help you out though, even at the level you're at. So I'd encourage you to watch this and you can probably get some value out of it. But the players I'm talking to today are players like me who are going for 1,000,000.5, which, you can also use these same methods to get 500,000 points or even 1,000,000 points, because there's like kind of a life cycle to Scourge, right? When we first start doing a Scourge, we just want to get 500,000 points, 500,000 points, just to get the character unlocked, right? Just doing the first 4 nodes, because building for node 5 and node 10 can be very expensive. And especially with all these sagas going on, that's not always the best idea to build those node 5 and node 10 teams. However, when you're going through on the next pass, your next goal is going to be after you know you can get 500,000 points, then you want to start getting 1,000,000 points. Now you can still do that on nodes 1 through 4, but it becomes very hard. It's easier if you have those node 5 and node 10 teams for the various Scourges that come out. So far, we just have the 2. We have Pestilence, and then we have Famine, so Morgan Le Fay and Rogue. Red Hulk's coming. We've yet to see what the first 4 nodes are like on those, but it stands to reason that we will be able to get 500,000 points or 1,000,000 points out of those. Now, if you're at the level I'm at, where you've knocked out 500,000, a full 1,000,000. Now you need to start getting 1,000,000.5. Why 1,000,000.5? Well, once you get 7 stars on the character for the Scourge, you no longer have access to the leaderboards. Or you no longer have access to a ranking for the leaderboards. You still have a leaderboard, except there's no reason to do it other than bragging rights. And well, I don't care about that. The important part is the milestone. So the milestones you get a new improved milestone with more gear on it once you have the 7 stars. And you need to get 1.5 million to be able to get down to milestone 18 and get all the rewards. So the goal becomes, what's the easiest way for me to go through this and get 1,000,000.5? So what I'm doing here for the Pestilence is I've selected very specific Scourges. I feel these are the easiest Scourges to deal with. So even if you're going for your 500,000 point run or your 1,000,000 point run, these are the ones you want to run. There's 90 points of Scourges. We're going with quality minions. This one's a given. There are literally no minions. So summon enemies get plus 20% maxed health. There are none. So you can go ahead and add that one. Why do they still have that? It's so weird. Then not so fast. Actually, there might be a Hela. Is there a Hela? It doesn't matter. Not so fast. When a player character gains ability energy, apply slow to them, go ahead and take it. For my method, you're not going to need it. It's not going to hamper you down at all. When you gain ability energy, gain defense down, go ahead and take that one. Player character healing is reduced by 20%. Believe it or not a big deal. You can go ahead and throw that one on here. Poisoned energy 2. This is when you gain ability energy, you get defense down. Once again, not a problem. Go ahead and take it. Power fatigue 1. Player character special abilities cost 1 more energy. And power fatigue 2, the ultimate abilities cost 1 more energy. Really, I don't even notice. I honestly don't even notice because I also take 2 clever, and that's when a player character uses their special, they gain ability block. So that all kind of works out. And honestly, that one's not hard to deal with either. So I would recommend these Scourges for everybody if you're trying to raise up your points or just trying to get to a minimum point threshold, and certainly for the 1,000,000.5 run. To get 1,000,000.5, this is the minimum way to do it. You got to be on difficulty 8. Now, the good news is with level 90 out there, it's much easier to deal with difficulty 8 than it was in the past before when we only had level 85. So a lot of what I'm using here is level 90, and that does help a ton. Not going to lie about that. Going to go ahead and walk you through the run, and then we're going to go ahead and finish off node 5 because I've got something really cool to show you about that I'm pretty happy about. But starting off here with node 1, I do feel it's important. Here, let me go ahead and go to a different view so you can kind of see this better. I do feel it's important for node 1 to send in some kind of team to weaken it up. I choose a city team, a city hero team using Punisher since he gives extra damage to villains. And your biggest threat here is Silver Samurai. You need to do a ton of damage to him. He's a really huge character, and you're going to need to do a ton of damage to him. So having that extra damage for villains is really good. I did use Cloak and Dagger, even though Cloak and Dagger really aren't worth building anymore. But if you have them around, they're really good, great here, especially that big ultimate for Cloak. I didn't get to do Cloak's ultimate, but she's in there anyways. Shang-Chi is probably the biggest guy you need, and he is worth building. So Shang-Chi, and to that effect, I took in She-Hulk because we got to all build She-Hulk up to crazy levels. I'm even telling beginners it's probably a decent idea because if you want to go into Dark Dimension 5, take She-Hulk. You got to bring her up to, tier 17 someday. So you might as well take her up to tier 16. She actually did help out a lot. It was a great sacrifice team. I was able to clean it up with Young Avengers. Young Avengers, I'm not really recommending people take them up past tier 15 anymore. However, if you have done higher levels of the Rogue Scourge, then you're going to have a bigger Young Avengers. Might as well lean on it here. The one thing I would say to do is you do have to switch Squirrel Girl over to a healer. If you have her set as something else normally, switching her over to healer makes the team so much better for Scourge. All right, moving on to the second node. I used a legacy team here of Eternals, Deathpool, Silver Surfer, and Kestrel. Basically, what you need to do here is make sure that Silver Surfer lands the double ability block on Captain Sam. Once you got that done, the rest is pretty easy. Just aim it all down the middle and everything should die. The hardest part of this, of course, is getting these characters because Kestrel, Deathpool, and the Eternals are kind of unfarmable right now. I hate that. Another thing people are doing on this, instead of using this team, if you don't have this, what you can do is you can use Unlimited X-Men plus Morgan Le Fay, and that works really well on this node. So you can do that, and they even end up pretty healthy as well. However, I do like to use Unlimited X-Men somewhere else here. So for me, I use this team because it really only comes back a little bit at the end. But for me, it's a pretty disposable team. All right, moving on to the global nodes. This one I love. I love that you can take down global node 3 with just pure Wakanda in one shot. It's a great team. The one thing I would say with Wakanda is you want to definitely make sure that you don't put on the Scourge that gives you stun when you block. Wakanda blocks a lot. I was actually able to still do this. Mission number 3, even with that Scourge applied, it was just more of a pain in the butt. This does it better. If you have better red stars on your Wakanda, or if you want to play through this node multiple times, you might be able to use Wakanda on both nodes 3 and 4. However, my Wakanda got really beat up. So what I ended up doing was just using straight Unlimited X-Men on node 4. They absolutely destroy it. They ended up at full health. They didn't need to have full health. So you definitely do have some room there where you can use Unlimited X-Men on the other nodes if you want to. Just make sure you kind of come into this with them fairly charged or at least fairly healthy so that they can kind of recharge as they go. The ability block does affect them a little more than other characters, but it's still not really that bad. They're a really overpowered team, so they do really well the bigger they get. And if you're not attempting this for another few runs, then by the time hopefully this team becomes farmable, you'll probably just be able to run Unlimited X-Men on all 4 of these nodes. They're insanely good. All right, moving on. I'll have that video on the channel too. The day we can run Unlimited X-Men on all these nodes and not heal them, I'm there for it. Node 5, mission number 5 is all Web Warriors. It always has been, always will be. We just use Web Warriors on this. Having them at level 90, I had the best playthrough of this possible. You can see the video hit my channel Monday if you want to watch the play-by-play on that, on what the perfect Node 5 attack looks like. This was it. I ended with the ultimate charged on Ghost Spider and the ultimate charged on Scarlet Spider. It's insane. We're going to use it on Node 10 and we are going to just destroy it tonight. It's going to be great. All right, next up, the first villain node. I just throw Black Order at it. Even if your Black Order isn't built, I feel it's a good team to throw in just to weaken the node. And then you can bring in whatever team you're going to use on the next villain node to kind of charge up. The one good thing about beating it with Black Order is I was able to save Thanos. There is a cool use for him later on. So you might also want to sack this. People have been sacking this with Weapon X. There's some other villain teams out there. You can also use whatever team you're going to use for the next node on this node, and then you're going to have to kind of balance ability energy out. I just like throwing Black Order at it. It's a dead team, but this is like the one thing it can do is like mission 6 of the Pestilence Scourge. So I let it do it. All right, this is probably the most obtainable team for villains that I can really show at difficulty 8, which is as many horsemen as I got, which is Morgan Le Fay, Doctor Strange, and Agatha. So we use them. We use Doom, and we use Emma. Emma doesn't need to be built at all. She just needs to be there for speed. They handled this like nothing. They took this out. So really, you could probably use this same team. You can not even ignore this Black Order thing. Use this team on the previous node. You absolutely do not need Dormammu for this. No Dormammu needed. So that's good news. All right, moving on to Cosmic. I did use Infinity Watch on the first Cosmic node. However, you can probably use Infinity Watch without Adam Warlock. If you don't have Adam Warlock, I think it's fine. Even if you just have Gamora and Nebula, it's probably a solid team, and then you can fill in with some other Cosmic characters that you have. I definitely do suggest having Gamora and Nebula still. Team's kind of dead. Infinity Watch isn't doing well, but the Nebula-Gamora combo is always going to be good. But you might also just be able to use the team that I used for the second Cosmic node. Now, I did use Dormammu. I felt like a cheater when I did it. But the main thing you're doing here is something that everyone can do as long as you have Thanos and Icarus. You put Icarus behind Thanos, and then when Icarus kills everybody with his ultimate, all the energy feeds back to him, and then he can ultimate again the next turn. Basically, infinite ultimate is what you get from Icarus on these nodes. So yeah, you can use it on the previous node. You can use it on this node. Very, very effective. I really like this team. I got Kestrel here as well. Of course, the big problem for this team is actually getting a hold of it. But if you have it, using that Thanos Icarus trick is very OP. All right, finally, we got the final node, mission number 10. Now, I did already hit this with Dark Hunters. You can watch that in the video coming Monday. This video is going to be dropping Saturday on YouTube. Happy Saturday, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe. All right. Mordo is pretty great here. I like Mordo on this team now for Dark Hunters. I brought him up a little bit, not quite as high as the other characters because I just don't. This was something I could build before the sagas came about. Now I got to kind of wait on Mordo. In fact, we just announced that there's another Mystic character we need to take up to tier 16, the new Spider character. Web Weaver has to be tier 17 if you want to fully unlock Apocalypse. So I can't recommend putting a ton of gear into Mordo, but I can say having him here at like tier 13 is nice. And we're going to go ahead and see the setup for this. So my main goals here were to kill Magic, basically kill Magic and eat the ultimate from Cyclops. I did more than that. The buff to Dark Hunters helped me. I didn't raise their levels at all, just the buff that they got for war helped me kill Storm, Magic, and Colossus. So not only is all that done, but like I said, I have a fully charged Web Warriors. We're probably going to be looking at the easiest I've ever taken down node 10. I'm excited to show it to you. We're going to show you that here. Hopefully what I've shown you here, you've gotten something you can use out of this. You can hit 1,000,000.5 points. Let me know down in the comments below how you're getting at this. But yeah, you can see my Web Warriors. Man, they really stayed healthy. They really did well. Let me go ahead and move to this view so you can see the buttons I'm hitting, see the abilities as they come up. And we should destroy this. I want to go back and redo my Dark Hunters attack. I'm sorry I killed so many people doing my Dark Hunters attack. It was a really bad idea. It was a horrible idea in retrospect. I shouldn't have done that one. I shouldn't have dropped the second wave. Dropping the second wave is stupid. It does not help. It was not helpful. We got some defense down. Let's hit the special in here. All right, now I don't know. That wasn't a bad setup. If I could spread offense down to everybody, I would, but I can't. Now, I need to hit the ultimate with Scarlet Spider here. I've got to do this. Just for the heals. He's got an evade on him, so that's going to help him live through this. But yeah, I needed those heals, and I got them. I'm determined that there's a way through this. I'm in theory set up quite good. Just in practicality and the way that it's playing out like dog shit. That wasn't supposed to happen. So many things that aren't supposed to happen are happening, and I don't like it. All right, let's kill Thanos. I said, let's kill Thanos. I am going to hopefully ability block Phoenix. Okay, now we got some different things happening. This hasn't happened before. This is new. That was a nice dodge. That was a clutch dodge. I don't even know where to go. Where do I go, chat? What do we do? Who do I basic on? Do I try to get the kill on Midnight? I think I try to get the kill on Midnight. I did not get the kill on Midnight, but she's very close. I got the disrupt. Oh, fuck everybody. I got the disrupt with Miles. I got to use it. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Miles got killed, but it's okay. Phoenix is gone. I repeat, Phoenix is gone. Nice dodge. I think we got this. I think this is happening. Let me kill Cyclops. Can't afford to keep him around. He's got to die. Let's get rid. Oh, we got rid of Psylocke. This is it. Okay. So yeah, I had to edit out like a lot, by the way, because this node didn't go anything like I thought it would go. Dropping the second node turns out to be a very bad idea on the 10th node. Maybe don't do that. If you do it, you basically need to play out exactly the way that it's playing out right now, or else you are doomed. But even with like such a great setup, it was very, very difficult. But there it is. We got node 10 done. We got our 1,000,000.5 points. Hopefully more painlessly than I got it. I was a charmed run until that. Until that moment where I'm looking at the final node, everything was all good, but then I just got stuck. But there it is, everybody. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, comment down below. Did this help you out? And keep digging. But myself keeps slipping.